Hello, good evening. It's Friday. My name is Richard, and this is over and over and over again. It is, of course, the weekly Arsenal Women's Show, the original Arsenal Women's Show. We are back. We're back on a Friday as well. It's been a few weeks due to various different issues. Of course, last Friday, we had a game to watch, didn't we? And that didn't go too badly, did it? So we're going to look back on the game against Brighton. We had a really impressive Champions League performance as well against Juventus. So we're going to look back on that as well, of course. And this weekend, tomorrow afternoon, it is, of course, a North London derby from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham against Arsenal. Wow. Big show. So join us because it's all coming up the other side of this. So, of course, joining us, as always, it is, of course, the Lord Andreas, and the Lady Ange as well. Look at this. What a great show we are going to have. Andreas, first of all, good to see you. You must have had a good week. It's been not a bad week, has it? Let's be honest.
Yes, it's not been a bad week, and I'm glad to be back. Good evening, everybody, and looking forward to discuss all the things that happened against Brighton and Juve. Yeah, let's start.
Exactly, not a bad week. So, and Ange as well, good to see you. Have you enjoyed this week? I'm sure you have. You're on mute, I think.
Oh.
You're on mute, Ange. You've muted yourself. Oh, have I? No, you've muted yourself.
Right.
It might be better.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Sorry, because I'm using the phone tonight. Other than England men's, and they won, it's really boring. Yeah, but Arsenal-wise, the women, fabulous. Next.
Exactly, it has been fabulous. You're right. Now, I haven't managed to do my little introduction bits this week, so we're just going to have to miss them out. Greg's with us, so he says, evening, Rich Lord, and everyone on the chat. It's a short show tonight. Nothing really happened in the last week. Boring us. Exactly, yeah, you're right. There's nothing to talk about. I don't even know why we bothered. We should have just cancelled the show. Let's be honest. Terry said, good evening, Richard. Lordy, Greg. He said, hope everyone had a great week. Well, I'm sure we've all had a good week, haven't we? Greg says, Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Spurs are going to get beaten, and that is a fact. Well, there you go. I mean, it rhymes as well. And you're absolutely right. We'll talk about the Spurs game as well. Of course we will. Terry says, Lordy, can you have a chat with Uncle Charlie and tell him to send Starmer to the London dungeons? Yeah, that's where he needs to go, I think. Terry says, I'm liking Greg in the Christmas spirit nice and early. Yeah, it's a bit early for Christmas, but it's middle of November, so why not? Why not, indeed? And Greg says, Ange's looking great. Of course, you're looking great, as always.
Oh, bless. Well, I don't know about that. Work-wise, I've had a bit of a horrendous week. But anyway, the Arsenal women will keep me going. That's all that matters.
Of course they will. Of course they will. Absolutely. They always do. They'll keep us all going, actually, don't they? And, I mean, this time last week, of course, was the game against Brighton, which is why we couldn't do the show last Friday. But usually, you see, it annoys me that they put a game on a Friday so we can't have the show. But as it turned out, last Friday's game, it was worth missing the show for, wasn't it? Because that was something quite special. Now, Brighton, you might look at it, we always beat Brighton. Yeah, we do. But this Brighton team were third in the table when we played them. Third, but they were third in the table. And they came to the game in really good form. But that is probably, well, it is quite clearly the best we've played this season. But it's probably the best we've played for quite some time. The way that we just seem to have confidence. We were doing things that we've said we haven't done enough of, which is shoot from outside the box, a fantastic goal from Frida in particular. But just the way that the team gelled together, and that's something that hasn't quite happened yet, has it, this season, and even going into last season. They haven't gelled, but they actually, Friday night, it just all fell into place, didn't it? We've been waiting for a performance like that for quite some time. And when it actually happened, it was just fantastic. I mean, obviously, Andreas, you were there in the stadium to witness the glory of it all. I mean, it must have been fantastic to watch that live because the football we played was just brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And finally, a match that really was worth it to be in the stadium and enjoy our performance. For the first time this season, we scored more than 2 goals. And it was a relief for everybody, for us fans, for the team. And you could see how much they the team enjoyed this match and how much they needed a match like this, where everything get together and finally scoring goals seemed to be so easy. We had 5 different goal scorers, and in the end, Brighton must have been happy to only lose 5-0. It could at halftime. At halftime, it could have been 5 or 6-0 already. We had so many chances. We hit the crossbar, and and I think we hit the post, and there were chances over chances, and it was really great to enjoy this match in the stadium. Furthermore, for a Friday evening, a cold Friday evening, 22,400 is a really good attendance. I think a lot of clubs, not only in England but in whole Europe, would take this and say, "Oh, fantastic!" And we say, "Oh, only 22,000." No, it was just great. The atmosphere was great, and if it's not so full, so high attendance, and you hear the supporters club, the singing, the songs, hear that more intense, and I think the team heard the supporters too, and it was coming together and really great night for everybody. I was enjoying it very much.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great night, and I mean, obviously, you know, the way that the team played and winning 5-0 is a great thing. But you're right. I mean, you know, we've maybe become spoilt by some of the big crowds we've had at the Emirates. You know, the 45,000s, the 60,000, all this kind of stuff, and maybe sometimes we've almost expect that to happen every single game, and it's not realistic for that to happen at all, and it's not. But you're right. For a Friday night game, to get a crowd that size was quite amazing, really. And although, you know, some people have said, I've seen some comments saying, "Oh, you know, where's all the fans gone? You know, where's the 60,000 fans that were there in these other games?" It's like, "Oh no, you're not looking at it in the right way, are you?" It's a Friday night game against Brighton, who aren't the most attractive opposition historically. You know, they're not one of the big clubs, and to get that many fans to come out and support the team, it just goes to show where this club is. And I do think sometimes, you know, we've had a bit of obviously a difficult start to the season, that there's no two ways about it. There's been some problems going on behind the scenes, on the pitch, all kinds of stuff. And maybe sometimes when you've had a bit of adversity, that's when everybody pulls together. And I think maybe the atmosphere at the games has benefited a little bit from the fact that we have had a few problems. Everybody knows that the girls have needed more support than ever because of the way the season started. And I think that on Friday night, as you rightly said, Andreas, it all seemed to come together, didn't it? All at the same time. All the players seemed to hit good form. I think Brighton helped us the way that they play. They didn't have a low block. They didn't defend like most teams do. They came to play football, and it played into our hands a little bit. But I don't want to let that disguise how well we played, because we would have beaten pretty much anybody that night playing that way. It doesn't matter who we played, whether we played a team with a low block, whether we played a Chelsea or a Man City. I think we would have beaten anybody playing like that. We were that good. And in the end, like you said, 5-0 flattered Brighton, if anything, because we should and could have scored 7, 8 or 9, really, the chances that we had. And their goalie played well, I thought, actually, considering she let in 5 goals. She actually played quite well, made some good saves. So, yeah, it was almost a perfect night. I mean, Ange, I know you couldn't be there due to work situation and stuff like that, but I mean, It was a great game, wasn't it? A great performance, and what a great advert for women's football.
Oh, listen, I was in the pub because daughter had like a long birthday weekend, met up with the Friday night crew, huddled round the phone, missed the first goal. Got because said Steve, bless him, right, come on, get that stupid Barclays thing on, let's watch it, which was quite handy, it was that one. And yeah, did manage to see the other goals, and I did actually watch the highlights. No, actually, I watched the whole game back, to be fair, on Saturday, just to watch the game. Obviously, it was great just to see we were scoring, we didn't concede any. But yeah, well, going on to the next game, what we're seeing is good attacking football now. It's very enjoyable, really enjoyable. And particularly, and especially with my Dutch friend and with Andreas, especially when you're coming from abroad, and with the game, because it should have been Sunday, got moved to Friday, hence why I wasn't there. But how fabulous. All right, for any of the supporters, but particularly people who've had to change flights, hotel bookings. That's stressful. really stressful. For me, it was an annoyance, but my biggest thing was I don't care as long as the girls win. Yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah.
And I'm local. It couldn't be helped. I didn't go, but I was just happy they won. But yeah, more importantly for the likes of Andreas, that is just brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
I mean, we said, didn't we, that the girls maybe owed Andreas a performance because of all the messing around he's had to do, change flights and all this kind of stuff. And we said, didn't we, that they owed him a performance after he'd been to all the other games where they hadn't going particularly well, the 0-0 draw and all this kind of stuff, games that haven't been great. So I think it was the perfect kind of night for Andreas as well, wasn't it? And they did listen to, we know they listened to the show because we've seen the evidence of it. And obviously they did because we said they needed to put a performance in and they did. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it was inconvenient. I mean, you said inconvenient, Ange, and I think you're right. I think it was inconvenient for lots of people moving the game to reasonably short notice. Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, they did it for the right reason this time because it was because of the European game on Tuesday. So it was the right reason to move it. Sometimes they move it for TV or they move it for other reasons that aren't necessarily the right reasons. But I thought this was the right reason, even if it wasn't ideal for so many people. And the fact that we did get the crowd, as we said, is even more testament, I think, to where we are as a club. Okay, on the pitch, we've still got work to do. We're still off the pace a little bit. Chelsea are marching away at the top, Man City and stuff. But I think in every other aspect of the way that the women's club has been run, apart from the thing we talked about last week with the Bayern Munich game, which obviously is still an issue. But I think the club are moving in the right direction. We've got a lot of things in place to really go on it. We just need to tweak it on the pitch a little bit, and that's starting to happen over the last couple of weeks or so. We're seeing the results of that, and we're in. We're all very down in the dumps, wasn't we? A couple of weeks ago, the team wasn't performing. We were dropping points. So, we lost our manager. It was all a bit of a mess, and we're all sitting here wondering what the season was going to hold and whether it was even worth carrying on with the season. Just finish the season. Now we're almost saying, and suddenly now, quite quickly, everything's changed, and now suddenly everything's positive. We can see the direction now that the team seem to be heading in, and that shows how quickly things change in sport, doesn't it? It goes from being we was all down in the dumps a couple of weeks ago to now we're on a massive high, having seen some fantastic football from the team over the last couple of weeks, but this week in particular it's been fantastic. And I think Terry's made a comment there. He says Andreas tried to fob us off with it'll be a close 2-1. Well, I think we all kind of were worried last week, wasn't we? We hadn't been playing okay. We've been playing okay in the last games before, but it hadn't really clicked for us. And I think a 2-1 last week was a fair prediction. I know you guys predicted a big win and you were right. And next time we might listen to you a little bit more because you always say it's a big win. And you got it right this time. It was a big win. And, exactly. Greg says, great point, Terry. He's got to get up to at least 5 now. Well, yeah, maybe that's what will happen now. I think we'll see. Terry says 5-0. Imagine when Salty's in charge would have been double figures. Well, it may have been, but I'm not sure we could have got much better than Friday night anyway.
Block it out.
Yeah, we know you don't want to hear that. And to be honest with you, I know I've said on the show before, we've had comments the last couple of weeks about Renee taking charge permanently. I must admit, I'm not saying that it's just because of the last 2 games. She seems very, I watched her press conference just before we come on, and she seems very, I don't know, natural in that position. She seems very natural now. I mean, yes, okay, the last 2 performances have helped, obviously, because suddenly we're seeing the potential of this team that she's obviously worked on. But I mean, Andreas, now I know I don't want to just get carried away on 2 great performances and great results, but the more time's going on, she's looking a lot more as though she's maybe destined for the job full time. Do you think that might be the case now?
I still don't think so. Maybe she'll stay until the end of the year. It's possible that we don't find the new real manager. I heard the last podcast from Tim Stillman. He said there is a list of maybe 5 candidates, and maybe Nick Cushing was one of them. And now we are approaching the others. We are working us through this list, and I still think we should find a manager who will build something up for the next 2-3 years. And Renee is doing a good job, but it still is a lot of Jonas in this team. The team selection, the lineup, it's most of the players Jonas would have started too. She was his assistant. She was his assistant in Sweden. She followed him in the job in Sweden. So it's natural that she's following his line, his way of coaching. Of course, she's doing something different. Before, in the start of the season or last season, she was responsible for the player coaching, the one-on-one coaching, and now she's responsible for the whole team. She's doing it very well. You can see this. We read what Beth said in an interview. It was like a breath of fresh air Renee brought in, and we needed that. We feel she gave us back the confidence and the freedom. Yeah, you can see all this. But yeah, she has not changed everything, or that's the wrong expression. She has not changed much. I see one really big change she did was in centre back. She brought Steph Catley as a centre back, and that this is working very well. Steph is doing it really good there, and I think she will stay there for the next games. But this costs Cody and Lotta a place in the starting lineup. And the rest of the team has not changed with the players, but with their confidence and the freedom or the way they are playing, they feel free to shoot from outside the box. They are going, like Caitlin, they're going on the wings and trying to cross in, and you see the minutes that Lina Hurtig is getting. So these are the small things that have changed, and that's okay. So fortunately, we are now in a position that we can say, okay, we could continue till the end, till Christmas, or in case of need, we can continue with this interim solution till the rest of the season, maybe. But I don't see it as a permanent solution. We still have a lot of talented young players, and if you see the average age of our starting lineup, it's 28.3 or 28.5. While the young talents are still on the bench or coming from the bench for a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The average age of our team is quite old, I suppose. You're right about that. But maybe that's a good time to have the young players learning, and then rather than throwing them in too soon. When at the moment we're in a position where I don't think we're quite able to do that. But I mean, you made a good point there about Renee hasn't changed very much from when we had Jonas, right? And she hasn't. You're absolutely right. But maybe not very much needed changing. I don't think we were far away under Jonas from being really successful. You know, we came close to a league title. We came close to a Champions League final. We won a couple of little cups as well along the way. And I don't think we were far away anyway. Could he have managed to make those changes to turn us into the title winning team that we all want to see? I'm not sure. We'll never know now. But maybe Renee can take the good things, and she mentioned that in a press conference, so maybe she can take the good things that Jonas instilled in them and manage to get a little bit more from them. Now, Ange, do you think it's maybe because it was mentioned to her as well? Do you not think maybe because she is a woman and maybe the players are more relatable to her for that reason? Is that why? Do you think that maybe they're now starting to play a little bit more free? Maybe she understands the players a little bit more on a personal level, being female as well? Or do you think it's just the fact that she's worked with Jonas, she's taken the good bits of what Jonas has done and just added little bits of her own that's working? It's difficult to know the reason, but
I'm going to say it's a combination of both. The fact that she's a woman and, sorry guys, use the obvious word. I think Jonas was very good. He's a very understanding man. He's a family man. But it is things like if the girls having a period, whatever, you know, as a woman and a young woman, she'll be totally understanding of that because perhaps, you know, they might have a few days, whatever, where they're not going to play so good. Could be other issues as well, but just that on the whole female side. Yeah. I think, and also, I'm not tactical, I'm not technical, but I think we've seen, because my biggest argument was, when Jonas got it right, he got it really right. Unfortunately, it certainly didn't start off that way this season, and I'm still sad he went. I like the guy, but bottom line, he's gone. Wish him well. But I think she's probably slowly tailoring it to a slightly different way. Yes, she's been very influenced by Jonas, but I think she's a very clever young woman. That's what comes across more than anything. I find it hilarious. I didn't watch today's press conference because I was literally going to work and I hadn't had a chance when I got in. But also, I mean, I love the way she's very polite. She just smiles and she's very clever with her words. She hasn't said she doesn't want the job. She wants to be there in some capacity. And how can she come out and say, I want the job? You can't do that. It's going to be about results. And I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing with her as much as I am for the players and what the results we're getting. Yeah.
No, absolutely, and I suppose that's our opinion, because I think that a lot of the time under Jonas, you're right. When he got it right, it was really, really good, and it led to some great moments and some great performances, some great matches. But it didn't happen consistently enough, and I don't think we were able to enjoy the team as much as we should have done with the players that we had, the talent of players that we had. And now it seems though we're seeing the team. Now we're seeing that the team that we assumed we would see last season, I think, in terms of the personnel in the team, and we expected them to play more like we have done in the last week or so, and we expected that before, and for whatever reason it wasn't happening on a consistent enough level. And is this going to happen? Is it like a new manager comes in, a few different ideas, a few tweaks, and suddenly results pick up? This happens a lot. We see it all the time, don't we? When a new
manager bounce, I get that.
Exactly. We do see that all the time. And is it just that, are we getting a little bit carried away because of how well we're playing, and or is it actually that Renee has got managed to get the best of what Jonas brought and the best of what she can offer, and combine, like you said, combining the two together, and it's producing great results, and it's a good platform to go forward. And I kind of agree with Andreas as well. If we were to decide that we can't get the manager we want right now, or the manager we want isn't available, or we haven't really got enough of a list to work on that's going to be good enough, and we said, right, okay, let's keep Renee till the end of the season and go from there. I don't think that's a bad idea, because at the end of the season, if we've won the FA Cup, or we've won the Continental Cup again, or we've done really well in the Champions League, and maybe we've pulled it back in the league, then Renee's done enough for me to deserve a full-time crack at it.
Should have done very well.
Yeah. If at the end of the season, though, we find out we've actually not done any better than we did the last two seasons under Jonas, and she's a very Jonas clone, as we've said, maybe then there's a time to be, okay, we know now that she's not going to be significantly different to take us forward, and make a decision. And I wouldn't necessarily mind that. I think she's in the couple of month or so that she's done the job, I think she deserves a bit longer, rather than Arsenal rushing into getting a manager. If Nick Cushing was the number one target, for example, and he doesn't want the job for whatever reason, or we can't get him for whatever reason, don't just go down and say, well, we can't get number 2, we can't get number 3, let's get number 5. Why not just give Renee a go to the end of the season, and then we've got time to think about it properly, haven't we, and make the right, if that's what we need to do, unless they can get the right person now, whoever, if it is Emma Hayes, which it probably won't be, but if we can get the right person now, obviously do it. Brilliant. But if we can't, we don't have to rush now, because I think Renee steadied the ship really well, and I think there's a platform now for us to build on going forward this season. I think it could still be a really good season from what I've seen in the last 4 or 5 games that Renee's been in charge. I can see it still being a successful season, and I think that's what we all want to see, don't we? Joe G's River said, I think if Arsenal could replay the games they lost and drew over the past weeks, there would be different results, judging by how they're playing now. Yeah, potentially, I think you could well be right, actually, but that's not how football works, is it? The games are played when they're played, and you win or you lose, and that's it. You can't go back. But yeah, we'd never know that for certain, and it could well be. We were slightly unlucky in some of the games. Let's be honest. Some of the games we dropped points, we were unlucky, and now maybe the luck's turned. But yeah, we could maybe have a few more points on the board if we started the season last week. If Brighton was our first game, as it was last season, and we move forward from there, it could be a very, very different story, absolutely. But we can't go back, can we? Joe says there also as well, Chelsea v Man City, one or both will drop points. Yeah, exactly. They're playing each other, of course, this weekend. So that's a big game, isn't it? And it's an opportunity. We know that like at least one of them is going to drop points, if not both. Makes our game even bigger, doesn't it? Terry says, sack both managers and the Cronkies and life will be fantastic. No, don't sack Rene. I'm kind of liking what Rene's doing at the minute. Grant Rivers, he says, hi there, how you all doing? We're doing good, my friend. We are doing very, very good. I'm glad to see you back with us. LG says, so the Brighton game, it was a 4 week ago. Time flies. It was a week ago. It was indeed. It has flown, hasn't it? Because it doesn't seem like a week. Greg says, we don't need a manager to rebuild. We need the manager to carry on what Rene has done. Well, Rene's kind of carrying on what Jonas was doing, which just tweaking it. And it's kind of going well, isn't it? Terry says, Rene seems too soft to me. I want someone like Salty that the girls will have that slight, oh, God, I can't mess up here, sort of frightened of it. Well, yes, to a certain degree, maybe that's right. But is that what this group of players needs? I don't know. We don't know them individually.
Sorry, can I intervene? I'm a woman here. Trust me, the girls do not need her. They really, because I'm sorry, let me call this out. Sorry, Rich. Sophie, as we call her, she is about herself. I mean, she's even started to slightly slate off the Chelsea women. I've heard that. She's totally about herself. It's all about America now. Well, ta-da, love. Yeah, end of. Next. Yeah. And our girls don't need someone like her. And they won't be bullied. And whoever come out with the rubbish, oh, Jonas is a bully, don't be stupid. Next. Our girls know their own minds. And obviously, lots of things weren't gelling. Currently is now fabulous. Yeah, Rennie, I think Rennie's not soft as you think. Yeah, she's a very nice lady. And I'm a deputy manager in the little job I do. And before I've had a couple of people that I technically have had to manage, but I never got any good work out of them by bullying them.
No, I don't think Terry means bullying them. I do think
maybe I've exaggerated that, but
ruling with a little bit of fear, maybe, is what I think Terry means. A bit like Alex Ferguson used to do, didn't he?
Oh, God.
You know, and I'm not saying necessarily that's right for this day and age anyway. I'm not saying it's right in women's football. I don't necessarily think it is.
Chuck a football boot at the head, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But it's not really kind of appropriate. But, you know, no. I think you're saying that our girls don't need someone like Emma Hayes. Well, maybe the Chelsea girls might have thought they didn't need someone like Emma Hayes until she came along and started winning them all the trophies in the world.
Well, and yeah, when she was around. Sorry, Nick. Sorry. That really grated me. And I was watching the one show. Sorry to advertise that. Oh, yeah. And I used to bet there's Arsenal shirts there. Oh, shut up, woman. Next. So is that what Rene's got to do now? Get the City shirts, get the Chelsea shirts, just burn them next.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're going to get Emma Hayes anyway, as much as she would be successful because she's a great manager. I don't necessarily think Rene's too soft. What I think was quite important was Leah Volti today, in her interview, said that Rene's brought a calmness and a ruthlessness, which is exactly what the England girls have said about Serena. Now, is it a Dutch thing? Maybe that obviously
the Dutch people
are quite calm on the outside, aren't they? But they're quite fiery inside that you don't see too much. I think that maybe it's a Dutch thing because Serena's very similar, and we know the success Serena's had. And I'm kind of starting to go down the line of the more I start thinking about it, the more I start what I'm seeing and hearing, I'm starting to think that maybe Rene isn't a bad option. It's certainly for this season and then see where we are. But I wouldn't be against keeping her for a bit longer, just because it seems to be making sense at the moment. It seems to be working, and she seems to be. I don't think she's. I agree with you, Ange. I don't think she's as soft as she necessarily appears. She looks quite quite small and timid, but I don't think she is. I think she's actually, I mean, Serena's the same, isn't she? Serena's, quite small and petite, but she knows what she's doing and she knows how to get the best out of the team. And I think Renee's maybe quite similar to Serena. And if we can't get Serena, which we won't be able to, maybe Renee could be the next best option. Perhaps, I don't know. She's still young. She hasn't really got a lot of top level management experience at all. But I don't know. Let's see what. If we keep her till the end of the season, I wouldn't be too bothered about that. I'll be fairly happy.
I'd actually be happy about it personally.
And we can rethink then, can't we? And if it's worked well, had a great season, and she's been successful, well, keep her. Absolutely, no problem at all. If it hasn't quite pushed on from last season and stuff, then we can say, okay, thanks, Renee, you did a great job, but we're going to get someone, we're going to get the right person to move us forward. And I don't think that would be necessarily a bad option.
Sorry, before you answer that, can I just jump in on something here? I think the bigger picture at the moment is we've got to replace Edu.
Well, we have, absolutely. The club's working on that.
I don't know how it works with taking on head coaches and all that. But because I mean, Edu was involved because he was involved in the women's side of it all. And I think that's got to be the first thing.
Well, I mean, I know the club are moving and looking at potential people to take on that director of football role, which does have an impact on the women's team as well, absolutely. But I don't know whether or not that has to come first and then the manager for the women, or whether they can get the manager in without a director of football. I'm assuming they can. I mean, the director of football is quite a modern thing, isn't it? And clubs have always got managers in before, so I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, okay. It probably wouldn't matter.
It needs to be sorted, absolutely. Of course it does. I mean, for the club in general, it needs to be sorted, absolutely it does. Grant says there, sometimes I think Arsenal have a fine for players who take a shot from outside the box and doesn't hit the net. It does seem like that at times, but I say in the last sort of week or so, we've seen a few efforts from outside the box. So maybe they're starting to take those risks, which sometimes you have to, don't you? Likagando says, I think it will be a good idea to stick with her for now until next season. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think that might be the best option now. I wasn't necessarily thinking that a week or so ago, but I'm starting to come around to that idea now. Terry says, it has got better since Jonas was sacked. Why not try it sacking Arteta so we can get better? No, I totally agree with that at 100%. They would get better straight away. But anyway, they get better for me. Joe says, agreed, Terry, a manager with balls to the floor. Exactly. I kind of agree with that. Greg says, what more can she do? She hasn't lost the game and the youngsters aren't good enough at the moment. Well, I don't know if they're not good enough at the moment. I don't think it's the right time to throw them in because we still got a little bit of pressure on us, haven't we? Because of the results, we're still we're still outside the top three. We've got a ground to make up still and stuff like that. And I don't know if this is the right time. I wouldn't say they're not good enough. I think one or two of them are good enough. I think Katie Reid's good enough, but I'm not sure I would throw her in right now anyway, whoever the manager was at this time in where we currently sort of are, really. LG says, under Jonas, we would have probably drew 1-1 against Juventus because of him being too pragmatic. Maybe, we'll never know, but you might well be right. Renee is good, but I want a manager who is more braver in his or her decisions, like lineup substitutions. It has been safe for long. No, it has been safe, you're right. And I think Renee took a few more risks, but it's the same players, I guess. Terry says, if Renee is going to be our manager, she will need someone like our Ange to keep the girls on track. What are you doing this weekend, Ange? You could introduce you to
Renee. I did volunteer for the job, but they turned me down. Sorry.
Oh, did they? Oh, that's no good. Well, they turned you down for. I can't believe they would do that.
But I'll let Renee have it.
Well, okay, I suppose so.
Yeah.
All women together, aren't they? That's what Brett says, I like Jonas, sure. Obviously he's Swedish, so I guess you would like him. But I've rarely seen a manager working in the dressing room at half-time with 3-0 up and turn a result to win 5-3. That takes some. Well, it was 2-0 and we won 6-2, didn't we? But yeah, you're right. Not many managers can do that, and he did. So, but that was only once. He needed to do it more often. But yeah. VV says, Jill Ennis, next manager if European Cup not won. Well, we'll see. We will see. Solar says Renee is not soft. The girls respect her, and that's what matters. They're playing for her. Yeah, it seems to be. I kind of agree. Vivi says there, but Rene is very good. Rene is very good, absolutely. Terry says, Ange, how dare you talk about our salty like that? Well, we know.
Well, sorry,
We
I
don't
don't
really
like
like
her. Sorry,
Nobody
I'm
likes
very
her.
biased.
Nobody likes her, but if she's going to win us loads of big trophies, we might put up with her, mightn't we? I suppose, but I don't know. It's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Thank you. Next.
No, it's not going to happen. Greg says Rene's a young manager who can grow with a team. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Could well happen. It could well happen. Grat says there, regarding new manager suggestions, is it okay to tell a joke that is far from PC? Well, you can tell a joke. I'm sure we'll appreciate it. You give us a joke. We like jokes. Terry says, my problem with Rene is that she hasn't been under any pressure yet. So until then, Saka, another Arteta. Well, no, but I mean, you can't say Saka because she hasn't been under pressure yet. I mean, she's under pressure at the start because the results were bad and she needed to turn around. And every single game's been a pressure game. Brighton was a pressure game last week, and look at what happened there. Juventus was a pressure game, which we'll talk about in a minute. Look what happened there. So I think she has had pressure, has been under pressure, and she's responded to it well with calmness and direction, and the girls have responded to her. So I think there has been pressure. I don't see how much more pressure you can have coming into the job that she came into at the time. I think it's massive pressure. So I think she has really coped with that really well, and that's a good sign for me because there's going to be much more pressure to come if we do well. You get to semi-finals of cup competitions, all this kind of stuff, loads of pressure. But so far she's done well. Joe says, have Arsenal FC sorted the Arsenal versus Bayern venue yet? No. We're not hearing anything. I mean, Andreas, are you hearing anything about it? Obviously, Bayern Munich, you kind of got your ear to the ground with Bayern Munich. Have they said anything in Germany about that yet?
No, the only thing Bayern was announcing is that the game can't be played at the Emirates, and we will come back as soon as we know more. That was the official statement from Bayern Munich to the season ticket holders and etc. But no more information. What I wanted to say to the Rene complex is she's very young and she has not really worked as a manager. She's now coaching the team, and you see the difference with an experienced manager. I have to mention Sonja Bompastor at Chelsea. She's very experienced, did a good job at Lyon, and she was not liked by everybody there. I heard that she's a difficult personality, and she had some problems with one or two players at Lyon. But she came to Chelsea, and look how good she does with this squad. And when you think for the last Champions League game, she made 8 changes in the starting lineup, and I'm sure she will make for the Man City game another 7 or 8 changes again. And that's what I'm missing in our team. Of course, we can't do this because we must find a way back to winning ways or back in track. But Sonja Bompastor, she uses this big squad. And this is what Emma Hayes did in the last years too. And in the end of the season, you get the reward for this, because every player has got minutes and everyone has played with everyone. It's not that you throw 3 or 4 new players in April or May and they never have played together and don't know where is she running, where is she standing, what does she prefer. They all play with everybody because of these changes, and Sonja is doing this too. Of course, she has a better starting position with winning all the games, but she uses the squad better than we are doing. And I think for this you need an experienced manager who gets the respect from the players. And if Rene would now come to the meeting before a game and says, today we are making 6 changes in the starting lineup, and there was I played well, why am I out now? And next week she says, and now we are making 8 changes. There is no consistency. I want to play and I want to get my minute. If you are an experienced manager like Emma Hayes, like Sonja Bompastor, you don't ask why do you make so many changes? The manager does, the manager decides, she's responsible, and you respect this. And this is a problem if you have a very young manager or coach who has not worked a lot as in the role as a manager, but only as a coach or head coach. Let's see, and let's give her the time to develop. But once again, we also have 25 players in our squad, and we use 12, 13, always the same to bring. Okay, she brings in subs earlier than Jonas does, but she does not use all the 25 players in the squad and change everything from one to another. And you see, it works for Chelsea.
It does, and maybe Chelsea do have I wouldn't necessarily say a stronger squad. We've got a very strong squad ourselves, but they've maybe got a squad that knows how to win trophies. So you can make lots of changes at Chelsea and it's not going to affect results too much. I think if you were to keep doing that with our squad now, I think results would be very up and down. I think we've got a consistent team now. Yes, one or two changes here and there. We changed the goalkeeper the other night, and obviously Steph Catley's coming to centre back position, which was a change from before. And obviously Mariona was out and she's come back in as a sub and stuff. And I think there has been changes, and I think that for us at this moment in time, maybe that's what we need. I don't think we're in a position yet, are we, to make the sort of number of changes, eight or nine changes per game that Chelsea do. They can get away with it because, you said, they're in a better position in the first place. And if we can get to that position, we'll be able to do that as well. And I think it's the same with the men's team a little bit with Arteta. He tends to pick the same players all the time because he feels under pressure constantly not to make changes, and because it does affect your consistency and your performances, doesn't it? Because you're not going to have 25 players who are all equally good at everything that all the others are. You're going to have certain players that work better with other players and maybe suit the patterns of play better, and you stick with those players because you know what you're going to get. And I think when you're under a little bit of pressure for results, maybe that's the best option. Whereas for Chelsea, they probably are not under that same. They're under pressure obviously because they're expected to win, but it's a different sort of pressure, isn't it, when you're at the top as opposed to when you're trying to get to the top. It is different. And I think, I mean, you made some good points. I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily, but I don't think we're actually in the position yet where we can make those number of changes regularly and still get consistent results. I don't think we would. I think the results would be very up and down. We had up and down results when we picked the same team as well, sometimes before, so it hasn't necessarily made a difference, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens over the next, obviously, a lot of games are coming up, a lot of competitions that we're in. Let's see as the season develops, will we start to see more changes? Yeah, I think we probably will. Players will get injured, players will need rest, and I think we will see more changes. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea have done it in a maybe different way because they've been able to, maybe. And obviously Sonia's gone in there and not tried to change too much because it's worked before, and you'd be silly to change it all, wouldn't you? I think if we do get a new manager in, you could say, well, they could change everything at Arsenal because we haven't been as successful. We've been reasonably successful, but not enough, and you can change it. Whereas with Chelsea, you've been so successful, you can't go in and change everything. It's what Graham Souness did when he took over at Liverpool them years ago. He tried to change it all, and look what happened. It didn't produce success, and I think you've got to be careful. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too upset with the team selections recently. Obviously, I'd like to see Stina starting more games, of course, and I'm sure she will. But yeah, I mean, I think our squad at the moment is where it is. Colin says, amazing how the girls get knocked when they don't play 100%, and they get knocked when they do. I don't think they're getting knocked when they're playing at 100%. That's what everybody wants to see. Everyone wants to see them playing at 100%. It's the consistency that we want to see more, don't we? We know what they can do. We've seen what they're capable of now. They've got to produce that more, not every game. No, you're not going to play that every game. Not even Chelsea do. But we want to see that more consistently now, don't we? And if we do, then that's all we want. Greg says every manager has to start somewhere. She won titles in Sweden, and an experienced manager isn't the answer. Well, it might not necessarily be the answer. It could be the answer. We won't know unless we'll see what happens. But let's see. Terry says Rene has the job for whatever length of time, win or lose at the moment. Things change when it's all down to you if she gets the job permanently or until the end of the season. Well, at the moment, she's got results. Whatever the reason is, she's got the results. Whether it's because she's got not the pressure of being in a full-time role, maybe that's the point you're trying to make before, and I would kind of agree with that to a certain extent. You don't have as much pressure when you're only an interim, because if you win or lose, you're probably going to not have the job anyway, regardless. So yeah, there's that pressure there, which I kind of get what you mean now. But yeah, I mean, she's got the results. Whether she's got that permanent position or not. And we're not going to know if that's going to make a difference until she is permanent. And then we'll see, or if she's getting till the end of the season. It's difficult, isn't it? Joe says she agrees with Andreas. Also a manager who will be savvy when the transfer window opens. Does Renee have the experiences? Well, maybe she doesn't, but then that's what you've got people at the club to do that. The director of football that we mentioned before. That's their job, isn't it? It's not Renee's job necessarily. She can pinpoint some players that she must. She understands football. She used to play herself, so she understands what's needed, and she can pinpoint the players. And the director of football goes out and buys them, and that's how it works at most clubs. So she doesn't need experience of that herself. She just needs to be able to know what kind of player that she needs and what she wants. I'm sure she does, because she seems to know what she wants, which is the main thing, isn't it? Terry says, well, says Lordy, we just need to sort your score predictions out, and then you'll be Superman. Well, he's Superman already. Don't worry about that. I mean, talking about Superman, I mean, the other night, the Juventus game, we went into that Juventus game, and I think we're all a little bit concerned, because had we lost that game, it would have put us in a really difficult position in that group. So, we're talking about pressure before. I think that was a really big high pressure game away from home against a good team, a team that play a certain style of football that's obviously successful for them. But we went there, and yes, the Brighton game obviously helped. The performance and the goals against Brighton obviously helped. But that performance against Juventus was, I mean, I must admit, when we went 1-0 up, I'm thinking, this has got Bayern Munich away written all over it. We played so well, went 1-0 up, and then we conceded a goal and we fell apart. And I'm thinking, please don't concede a goal before half time, because I felt if we'd done that against Juventus, I think the second half would have been totally different. But we didn't. We managed to see it out till half time 1-0. And then in the second half, I thought we were brilliant. We managed the game so well, and the substitutions were good. They came at the right time, and all the substitutes made an impact on the 3 goals that we scored in the second half. Obviously, Stina's brilliant goal. Obviously Mariona got herself a goal, and then Kyra set up Caitlin Ford's goal. And again, 5 different scorers against Brighton, 4 different scorers against Juventus. The goals are coming from everywhere. I mean, I think Daphne's going to score tomorrow. She's bound to, because everyone else is scoring. It's Daphne's turn, isn't it? I mean, and that's a great thing, isn't it? Because you don't want to rely on one player to score all your goals, because as soon as they hit a dry patch, you're massively going to struggle. So the fact that we can get goals from pretty much everywhere in the team is another bonus. But that performance, I just thought that was another Lyon away, wasn't it, from a couple of years ago? It was such a dominant away performance in Europe. We got the goals. We just absolutely hammered a good side away from home, and that was one of the games I've enjoyed the most for a very long time. I just thought it was such a great performance. Some of them goals as well. Frida Marnham's goal, the move that led to that, Caitlin Ford's little ball through, and it was just such a great game to watch. I mean, Andreas, what was there not to love about that game and that performance? It was brilliant from start to finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Brilliant performance, and we shouldn't forget this. This is the Juve team that has beaten last year's semi-finalist Paris Saint-Germain in the qualifiers 3-1 and 2-1. Two wins against PSG. This is the Juve team that's leading the Serie A in Italy, and in a preseason friendly, they played 0-0 away to Bayern Munich. So this is not a small team where you travel and say, oh, yeah, of course, we're winning there 4-0. Yes, of course. No, this is one of the best teams in Europe in this Champions League. So the higher we have to see our performance. And, I was in Munich at the campus for the Champions League game against Vålerenga at the same time. So what I knew was we were 1-0 up, and then I went into the stadium and there was no Wi-Fi. So I was checking in. Are we still 1-0 up? I don't know. And then the stadium announcer said, we have news from the other match in Turin. Oh, no. And then it's now 2-0 for Arsenal. Oh, great. I couldn't check. And it was really hard watching the Bayern game and not knowing what happens in Turin. But I think I rewatched the match, and the first chance was for Juve when Daphne really reacted great or prevented them to use this one-on-one chance. But then it was fantastic how we grew into the game, and we fully deserved the lead at halftime. And in second half, of course, as I said, Juve is a good team, a really good team. It's obvious that they had their chances too. But everything we did was working. The subs when they brought on made an impact. We scored fantastic goals. Of course, the match was still leveled, and it could have. If they scored one, it would have probably ended 1-1. But fortunately, we made the second from Stina, and then and even Lina brought an impact when she came on. And Mariana, fantastic, and everything seems to work. The self-confidence was growing within the match as longer as it was going. The girls were feeling more confident. They were seeing, it works. Our tactics are working, and this was one thing I criticized under Jonas. The players didn't believe that the tactics are working. Now they believe in the tactics, and they see it's working. We are dominating this team. We are controlling the game, and fantastic result. I mean, 4-0 away in Turin. But we shouldn't make the mistake and say, we won there 4-0, so it will be an easy win at home next week. No, it will be a different match and a very difficult task. But now they are chasing us, and we are in the better position in the group now. We are back in a position where we can qualify for the next round, even if the Bayern game is still not clear what will happen. I read that maybe we will lose by default 3-0, and if UEFA does not agree with playing it in another stadium, no matter what happens with this, if we beat Juve next week, we are through. Even a draw will help us if we win in Oslo in December. So very, very good. A very good night was in last week in Champions League, and I think we all enjoyed it. We all needed it.
We did, and obviously, and Bayern won as well, so it was a good night for you as well, wasn't it? So it was a perfect evening, really, wasn't it? But I mean, it was such an important victory. You're right, and it puts us in. I mean, it's us to lose, isn't it? In terms of qualifying now, I mean, it's in our hands completely. Like you said, we've got Juve at home to come. We've got Vålerenga away. And if we can get 4 points from them games, it's more than enough, isn't it, to what we need? So let's get 6, obviously. But I mean, we're in total control now of getting through. And let's win them all, and let's go and beat Bayern wherever, if it does get played, and win the group. Let's do that as well. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. But I didn't realise that there was a possibility of us getting defaulted in the game. I mean, that would be incredible, wouldn't it? And to think that they could have easily moved the Carabao Cup tie for the men's team, and for the women to have to default a game on that would be actually. I mean, I was angry enough last week when the news came out, but if we actually have to default that game because they couldn't move the men's game, then that would the club should be people should lose their jobs over that. Quite frankly, people that made that decision at the club should lose their jobs, because that would be absolutely ridiculous. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Let's hope they can find some compromise. We can get the game played wherever it has to be played, and at least we can get it done. But I mean, that would be ridiculous. I can't believe that's even a possibility. But who knows? Who actually knows what's going to happen? Because it's ridiculous as it is. I mean, Angie, obviously on better news, obviously Juventus game was amazing, wasn't it? It was an amazing performance. It was an amazing result. And some of those goals were just, I mean, Stina's goal as well. The way she, it reminded me a little bit of Aubameyang, actually. He scored a goal like that in the cup final, didn't he? Took it round the wrong way, round the defender, and then scored. I mean, it was brilliant. It's just a great night, wasn't it? I mean, you must have enjoyed that, Anne, surely.
Well, because I didn't see the first part because I was coming home from work. And then, of course, I hadn't listened properly to the couple of good women's football groups on FB. And, of course, it worked. Normally, I put YouTube on telly. No, it's not on there. It's on the app. So I had to quickly sort the app out. I should have paid attention. So, I missed the first goal, but and plus I was doing it on the own page, and it was sort of like getting so sorry. That's why we couldn't really concentrate on your watch along, because I'm trying to concentrate on that. Got the glasses on, but no, like yourself, I'm a huge fan of Stina. Really love Stina. And if I was a female footballer, I'd have a funny run as well. I really would. She has definitely got a funny run, but I say that with great affection. She has. And dare I say it, I call her a shy horse. Got quite a shy horse. But she was just going for it. And you just knew it was going in. There was no question. Because the other thing she does rather well is sometimes she has to fall over, get back up, and then score the goal. And I say that with great affection because she does it so well. But no, you knew that was going in. And I was just so pleased for her. Really pleased for her. You knew there was a goal coming. And what a great night to get that goal.
It was, and I think it'll do her good because she hasn't scored yet this season until then. So I think she needs a goal. And I think she played well. Yeah, and to finally get, and it was a good goal as well, like you said. You know, as soon as she cut inside, you knew where it was going to end up in the net, and it was a great finish. She has got a funny running style, I agree, but she covers the ground quite quickly, and you know she does what she needs to do. Grat says, "Let's move the Bayern game to Sweden." Well, that'd be a good result for you, wouldn't it? Moving it to Sweden. To be honest with you, I think it needs to be played in London, ideally. But I mean, at the moment, it's like just get played anywhere where they accept it. To be honest, to get the game played. Hopefully, if the next two results in the group stage go to plan, the game won't matter in terms of qualifying or not. I wouldn't want the whole qualifying to rest on that one game, and who knows where it will be played. Because I think home advantage would be so important. But if we've already qualified, maybe it's not going to be as important as it might have been. So, but anyway, it's still a shambles, and it still needs. It shouldn't be happening. But there you go. It's what it is, isn't it? But still.
It's worse since 2 years ago. I didn't feel quite.
Sorry.
You've gone a bit funny there, Andy. I don't know if it's your signal on your phone. You're breaking up a bit.
Okay. We've got me talking in the background. Sorry.
Oh, we can hear you now. That's better. We can hear you properly now.
Sorry. Yeah.
Now go on.
Yeah, sorry. We was talking. Just generally, once again, we're seeing that predominantly the same players, but they are playing differently, and it's just wonderful. And well, I keep saying it, wonderful attacking football, bit of defence when needed. Yeah, of course, because obviously Juve are not exactly useless next, and I think the biggest factor, we were away. Yeah, I was looking forward to that match, but there was I think there was a trepidation. You think, okay, we're away, but on the whole, we totally dominated it and made it enjoyable. Made it enjoyable. That's the biggest factor.
And you made a good point before actually about the app and YouTube and stuff. Now, Dazzn have always shown the games on YouTube, on their YouTube channel. This particular, I mean, I don't know if Andreas probably didn't experience those same issues. Maybe I'm not sure what it was like in Germany, but it was only available on the app here, so we had to sign into the app. Okay, it was free and that's great, but to think it was meant to be on YouTube and then it wasn't, and then having to scramble around trying to find it was quite a challenge, shall we say? Especially I'd rushed in from work to get there and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a small gripe, and actually it's helped the channel out because what it meant was more people watched the watch along because the game wasn't on YouTube. So I didn't actually mind it once I got going with it from that sense. But it's not ideal, is it? When they say it's on YouTube and it isn't on YouTube.
Yeah, and then it's not.
Many people couldn't find it, which I say maybe helped other people that watched the show, but that didn't really help people watch the game, which is what it's all about, I suppose, isn't it? What was it? Greg said here, sorry. It was good to see her use her left foot. Oh, yeah, meaning Stina. Yeah, she did score with her left foot, of course. I think she's used it a few times. It's not her strongest side, obviously, but, she might have to use it a bit more now after that goal because it was brilliant, wasn't it? Terry says he got all Doctor Who on us. It did sound a little bit like Daleks, didn't it, just a minute ago? But back to normal.
Been invaded.
Yeah, Grat says Arsenal women has a good eye to Chelsea, so let's play the match on their ground. I mean, they have been shopping in their store and everything. Well, yeah, we did buy the socks there, didn't we? So maybe we should play at the ground. Terry says Dazanap Champions League is free until the latter rounds. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I mean, I got it for free the other night, which was fine. It just meant that it was just a faff to go from one thing and then try and find it somewhere else. I mean, we got there in the end and it was fine. But yeah, maybe they should have advertised that a little bit better before the start of the game. Told everyone where it was going to be. Did you have that problem, Andreas? Of course you wasn't watching on telly, were you? Because you was in the stadium, so you wouldn't have had that problem. Anyway, do you know? Did they show it on YouTube in Germany or DAZN or not, or was it actually just on the app?
Normally, I have it on the DAZN app on TV, and this worked so far. But yeah, this week I couldn't watch it on TV, but I had to rewatch. But I did it on the DAZN app. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we. Yeah, I watched it on the app. Yeah, which was fine actually. Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, on the app,
yeah, it is free. It was free and it was fine. The coverage was okay, actually. I don't know what the commentary was like. I wasn't listening to it, but I mean, it looked good. VV says, has anyone understood or worked out the complexity of watching Women's Champions League on the DAZN website? Well, it wasn't. It was a bit of a faff. It was, in the end, it was fairly straightforward for me. Just you have to sign up with an account, put your email address in, and then you had access to it. It was a little bit faffy, but I don't know whether or not it's the same everywhere in the world, but it was fairly simple once I knew where I was going to find it. A few people put in the chat how to get it and stuff. It should have been more easily advertised in the first place, so we all knew where it was. But now I've got the app downloaded. I'm sure next time it won't be a problem. We'll just be able to go straight to it, and that might be a better way of. I don't think the YouTube signals are that strong, and you don't always. It sometimes cuts out. You don't always get great coverage on YouTube for a live match. I don't think it's obviously a cheap platform to put the games on, I suppose, and it's not maybe the best way to watch them anyway. So it might be better on the app in future in any case, but we'll have to see. I mean, next time I'll be fine. 170 Gunner says Black Stallions and Caldente should start. Well, they should. Certainly Stina should start absolutely every single game, but whether they will or not, I think Mariona might well start tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a minute. Avivi says for DAZN you have to register with a password, and that's the easy bit. Then the fun really starts. See, I didn't find it too bad. Once I did that, I just clicked on it and it set it up, and then you just said watch live, and it just let me watch live. I mean, that was just my experience of it. I'm not saying that's the same for everybody, but I found it quite straightforward after that. So if you had more problems in that, then I mean, I don't know why or what happened, but anyway. Grant says, well, now I really have to go. Bye again. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Join us tomorrow for the game, the North London Derby. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be good, isn't it? So we'll see you very soon, my friend, I'm sure. VV says, then yes, but you have to choose 5 different screens trying to sell you boxing and then do a specific for women's on the screen. See, I didn't have that problem. I just signed in, logged in, and it came up on the screen, watched the game. I clicked on that and it took me to the game. So I didn't have that problem, but I'm guessing, it's more of a boxing channel, isn't it? I suppose that's where it's come from.
I had that slight problem. It was suddenly like, oh, hang on, where is the game? Yeah, and I think because I was rushing, it didn't help when you got the time to do it. But yeah, I found it a little bit tricky actually, but we've got it now. Next.
Yeah, I mean, next time it's going to be easy because I've downloaded it. So it's really next time. But yeah, it was a bit of a fact. I didn't really find. There was some ads for boxing and stuff, but it just came up where the game was. I just clicked it, and I was fine. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I'm glad I managed to see the game because it was fantastic. It was a good performance and a great victory, an important victory. And now I say we're 3 points clear of Juventus. So as long as we don't lose this coming week when we play them at the Emirates, then we're going to be in a great position, aren't we? So let's look forward to that one as well. But before that, of course, tomorrow, wow, what a big game. North London Derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Of course, all the games this weekend are going to be at the, we're not going to call them the men's stadium, we're going to call them the club stadiums, due to the fact that it's international break, obviously, in the Premier League and stuff like that. So we're playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as we did last year. Now, of course, last year's game didn't go particularly well, did it? We lost 1-0 and it was very disappointing. But that was last year. And this year, we're coming into this game in fantastic form. We are flying at the minute. And surely, Tottenham cannot stop us, cannot stop this juggernaut of Rene's Arsenal flying through tomorrow. I mean, what do you think, Andreas? Do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be like the last couple of games? Obviously, it's going to be a different game, but do you think it might end up like the other games?
In the end, they owe us a good game at Tottenham and a win. We all remember last season how disappointing this was, and I think it's coming in a good moment. We are in a flow now, and we started a winning streak, and 5-0, 4-0. So I'm going for 3-0 this time. It would be fantastic to have another team and score goals away there, but Spurs have not played such a good season as they did last year. So they have their own problems, and I don't think that they can play a low block against us at home in their big stadium. They must try to into the game and search for their own chances or create something, and this will open the game for us. I'm really hopeful, and with the confidence we are going in this game, it should be a win for us. And for once, let me be optimistic and say 3-0. I hope.
Well, Terry will be pleased. Terry will be pleased that you've gone 3-0 this time. I'm sure he will. Greg says another 5-0 win. Nothing else is acceptable. Well, I don't know. It'd be nice to win 5-0 win. Let's be honest. But James, what's he doing? He says I logged in from the browser. It took 18 minutes before I was watching. What, 18 minutes? Wow. I mean, that's a long time, isn't it? It didn't take me anywhere near that length of time. Maybe
no, it wasn't that bad.
No, it took me about 5 minutes maybe from start to finish, from when I realised I had to get the app to when I managed to watch the game. So it wasn't too bad, but yeah. I mean, and obviously Tottenham tomorrow, big game. Of course, it's always a big game against Tottenham. Maybe doesn't quite have the same rivalry in the women's game as it does in the men's game. It's more Arsenal-Chelsea in the women's game, I suppose. But it's still a big game. It's still an important game. And we know how disappointed we were last year when we lost. So we don't want to lose again, do we? Let's be honest. I mean, how do you see it going tomorrow? I mean, we've got to be confident now, haven't we, after this week?
I'm optimistic.
Okay.
I was gutted last year.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm quite sad because I don't live in Tottenham, but I don't live a million miles away. I should have got a ticket. I should be there tomorrow. It's very easy for me to get there.
Yeah.
And actually, I've got a friend, and she's a Gooner, and she messaged me, and you're gonna love this. She's she works for Tottenham Hotspur, and she's in catering. Well, it should be lasagna gate all over it, and she's going to be there tomorrow. And I thought, come on, where's Wenger? Get the hat on. But I really wish I got a ticket now, because it'd be so easy for me to get there, literally a bus ride away. Yeah, that good. And also, I'm going to get to the game in a minute. And also, I've gone past it on the bus, whatever, driven past it, whatever. And it's very gleaming, a bit too gleaming, to be honest. It certainly stands out. Can't miss it. And I've got quite a few Spurs mates, sadly. It is what it is. I should imagine it's very impressive inside. And there is that side of me with the curiosity. Yeah. So that's just about the stadium at this point. Back to the game. We want to thrash them. Yeah, last season was really, really disappointing. I certainly want more than a 1-0 going our way. I want them thrashed. End of.
So how many do you want them thrashed by?
It got to be a bare minimum of 3.
Okay, bare minimum. Well, a bare minimum of 3 is okay. Terry wanted you to say 6-1, you see, like, just because Terry thinks 6-1. But we'll take...
concede a goal. No. We're going to have that. Oh, God, don't let's have Manu. Lover, don't let's have Manu. Play Dash.
No. Yeah, Dash's got to play. To play, there's no doubt. Rajendra's feeling quite confident. He says, oh, look, why not 7-0? I mean, wow, 7-0 would be good, wouldn't it? It would be good. I'm not sure if it's going to finish 7-0, but anyway, I'll take any victory will do.
Well, pretty much so.
Vegeta says they noted that they made it 500 more capacity than our stadium. They did, yeah. I don't know why, because they haven't got 500 more fans, have they? Let's be honest. But anyway, they probably just give the tickets away, don't they, to make it look as though they've got more fans than what they have. But anyway, Reggie said by at least 3. Well, yeah, I think we all kind of feel that, don't we? That anything other than a fairly big Arsenal victory is going to seem slightly disappointing now after the week we've had. But you know, we found to our cost, haven't we, this season, that there's no really easy game in the WSL. You can make them look easy if you play well, like we did against Brighton, but you can't go into a game thinking, "Oh, this is going to be easy," because they're not. Every team's good. Every team's got good players. Every team knows what they're doing. Every team poses problems, and it's finding solutions to that and finding a way to win. And obviously, this last week we're going to be confident. There's no doubt about that, and that's a big part of sport, isn't it? Going into it with confidence. And yeah, I'll be amazed if we don't win. I'd be amazed if we don't win fairly comfortably as well. Do I see a 6 or a 7? No, probably not. I'm going to go 4-0. I think we'll win 4-0 because you know, I know we won 4-0 the other night, and maybe that's in my head, but I don't know. I think we'd be much too strong for them. I think the confidence that we've got at the moment, I think we've got goals in this team from everywhere. Tottenham won't know where to turn to stop the danger because it could come from literally any player on the pitch. And I think that we're going to be far too strong. And I think last year as well, a majority of the players who's going to play tomorrow played last year, know the disappointment, and they'll be doubly determined to make sure that doesn't happen again. And if anything, that's going to like push us even more to get the right result. And I'll be amazed if we don't win reasonably comfortably in the end. We might have to deal with a few issues at the beginning of the game and get ourselves going. But yeah, I'm going 4-0, and I think it'll be a good game. Terry says, "Come on, Ange, you can't polish a turd to make it shiny." Well, no, that's true. You can't. I mean, to be fair, I've not been to the new Tottenham Stadium. I went to the old White Hart Lane loads of times. I've not been to the new stadium yet. I do want to go there. Like Ange said, kind of out of curiosity, because it does. What I've seen of it, it does look quite nice, if I'm honest. You know, we don't want to admit that they've got a nice ground, but it does look quite nice. I would like to go there, even if it was just maybe a tour or something, not necessarily for a game particularly, but I want to go and have a look at it because I do think it does look nice, and it's a massive upgrade. Obviously, White Hart Lane wasn't a particularly great stadium.
Tiny. It's so tiny.
Yeah, and it was a bit of an old school kind of ground, wasn't it? And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but it wasn't one of the great stadiums, was it? And now they've upgraded massively without really moving too far. So, I mean, fair play to them for what they've done, but ultimately they're still Spurs and they're still laughable, and you know we have to beat them. Honestly, we can't lose to them again, can we? No matter how nice their ground might or might not be, doesn't matter, does it? Greg says, "Lordy's getting there, Terry. By the end of the season, he'll get to 4." Well, if we beat Tottenham by 5 or 6 goals, maybe next week the prediction might be a little bit higher, but we shall see. Terry says there's 500 more because of the Beyonce tickets. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not for Tottenham tickets, is it? To watch the Tottenham game, the 500 seats of other stuff. Joe says 2-1. See, Joe's gone a little bit conservative there. A 2-1. We'll take a 2-1.
I'll take anything to beat them. Next.
Yeah, but let's go there and actually teach them a lesson after last year. So, look, you beat us last year. It was a one-off. It's never going to happen again in your lifetime, and we're going to show you why. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Greg says it will still smell the same. Well, no, it will. I'm sure it will still smell the same. Absolutely, it will. It will still smell like a swamp, won't it? I suppose. Terry says, Greg, I think you may be onto something with Lordy, but I won't be holding my breath. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We don't need to over predict scores as long as we win the games. But yeah, we might well see a few bigger scores if we keep banging in the goals like we have been in the last week. And of course, there is another game this week. You know, the Juventus game, as we said, it's on Thursday, isn't it? So we're playing every night of the week at the minute. You know, it doesn't matter.
When is it on Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
And it's a later kickoff because we're at home, isn't it? So, the earlier kickoff.
It's 8 o'clock.
No, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, brilliant. I'll be home. You can watch it properly, tune in properly, listen to the show, make a little comment while I'm concentrating. Whoop, next. All good.
Yeah, no, I'm glad it's 8 o'clock. But it's Thursday, which is a bit annoying, isn't it? And of course, after that game is our last game before the international break. And we're not playing again till the 8th of December. The Aston Villa game. So, but it's another big week, 2 big games, and obviously Juventus now having beat them, they're gonna have something to prove, aren't they? Now when they come to the Emirates on Thursday, because we just beat them so comfortably, they're going to want to prove a point and say, you know what, that was a one-off. Like we done against Tottenham. Tottenham beat us, so we want to prove a point on Saturday. Juventus are going to want to prove a point against us on Thursday. That wasn't maybe a true reflection of them. And I think maybe being away from home might help them at the Emirates. A nice, big, lovely pitch with we don't know what the crowd will be. It'll probably be okay. But I still think we did enough the other night to suggest that we can beat them again. Absolutely, we can. No matter how much they might raise their game, I think we'll win that game as well. But I don't think it will be quite as comfortable. I think it might be a slightly tougher game. And Andres, what do you expect from that one? Because I think Juventus are they're going to be wounded, aren't they, after that heavy defeat they have at home?
Yeah, of course, I will be there at the Emirates next Thursday. So yeah, it will be a different game, but this time the pressure is totally on Juventus. They know that they can't turn this around. Probably they won't win with 5-goal difference against us. So it's just for getting the points for them, but they must win. If they draw at the Emirates, then they are probably out, because they know Arsenal is playing against Vålerenga and will probably get the 3 points from Norway. So a draw will not help them. They must win there, and they must try something. They must try to get in the game as soon as possible, and to dominate the game or put pressure on us in the game. So this is our chance, because we love to play against teams who open the pitch, who open the game, and not sit back and wait. So this will be an open game like we had against Brighton, I think. So I'm optimistic we will win, because the pressure is a lot on them, and for us the chance winning next Thursday means we are through, and Arsenal will go through. If we take a draw, then we have the best chances to qualify. We must win then in Oslo, but it's also a good result for us. So I think we can go with confidence and have the chance to have an open game, an opponent who is trying to create something themselves, and we are winning. But I'll be not too high with the prediction. I say 2-0. If we play Daphne in goal, we'll have another clean sheet, and let's take a 2-0. And after Thursday, let's say we are through to the knockout stage in Champions League. This would be great.
It would be great, especially after the first game. I mean, to qualify with 2 games to spare after the start we had would be an amazing effort. To win 3 in a row in the Champions League, whoever you're playing, is a difficult thing to do. So yeah, it would be fantastic. You're right. Let's get the win. Let's get qualified, and then it means that we can go to the Vålerenga game with no pressure. And of course, there won't be any pressure much on the Bayern Munich game, wherever it's played, if it ever gets played. So that'll be good. Greg says they'll prove that Italian football isn't as good as the WSL. Well, I think that was proved last week, wasn't it? But let's prove it again. Absolutely. Rajendra says I might go to the match. That'd be good. Yeah, get yourself there. It'll be great. I see you might be able to meet Andreas if you go to the game, because he'll be there as always. So that'll be good. Terry says, come on, chat, hit the like button. Indeed, hit the like button, guys, if you are watching. It always helps us, of course. Terry said, told you, Greg, it wouldn't last with Lordy 2-0. Yeah, no, but come on, it's Juventus, isn't it? It's going to be a difficult game. We're not going to win that one 6-0, are we? I wouldn't have thought. But we'll see. Maybe we will. Who knows? It would be great if we did. But yeah, let's just win the game. I think with that one, it's all about getting the 3 points, qualifying, getting the job done. And I think, especially at the Emirates, because that's going to be the last game that we play at the Emirates in the group stage, because the Bayern game, wherever it's played, won't be at the Emirates. So that'll be the last game at the Emirates. So let's do it then in front of hopefully a decent enough crowd, and really we can go for it. Agsy's with us, says hello. find you just now tonight, Arsenal for me. Of course, yeah, we know that you're a big Arsenal fan as well. Greg says, at home in front of our own fans, another 4-0. Wow, another 4-0, says Greg. Wow, it'd be good if it
very
was.
nice.
It would be very nice. Well, whether it'll happen or not, I'm not sure, but we'll definitely take it. I mean, and obviously it's going to be it's a big game. We as Andrea said, we can qualify. And I mean, I think they're going to be up for it though. Juventus, they're not going to want to be humiliated again. So I think it's going to be tough. What do you anticipate for this game then on Thursday?
Well, yeah, I agree entirely. Yeah, well, they've actually been somewhat humiliated, haven't they, at their home ground? Wherever it was. Sorry, well, other than Juventus, sorry. Yeah, they're going to be very up for it. They're coming to a big stage. They're coming to the carpet next. They know what Arsenal's about. And obviously, like, well, currently Rene's doing, like X amount of us do, we can choose to, as best we can, certainly Rene can do it better, to study the form of someone like Juventus, how they're doing in their women's, whatever it's called. Sorry, I really don't take much notice of that. I should do, but I don't. And they're watching us, and all of a sudden, it's the, what's the word I want? The resurgence of Arsenal. Before, they'd have been rubbing their hands. No disrespect to Jonas, but they'd have been rubbing their hands, thinking, "Oh, this is going to be good." Yeah. Whereas now, hang on, these girls are actually playing like they should be.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that, well, yeah, we pretty much, well, we did thrash them and all. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to come to us. I don't even know who their coach manager is, but yeah, they're going to change their tactics to a degree. Yeah, they want to. Well, they'll be desperate to get a win. Absolutely desperate, of course. But it'll be an interesting one. But once again, as you said, we're going to be at home. It's going to be the last game for this qualifying round. Yeah, to get to. Yeah, yeah. I think we're going to be very, very up for it. They get tomorrow, and it's one game at a time, different, you know, tomorrow's WSL, that's Champions League, both vitally important. But particularly if we get a good win tomorrow, that the momentum, it'll just keep going. It'll keep going.
It will. It will.
Yeah.
So do you think we'll win on Thursday as well then? You got to give a score prediction that Terry likes as well, though.
I think I go. Do you know what? Sorry, I'd even just take the 1-0 for Thursday.
We'll all take a 1-0. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, the girls 1-0 to the Arsenal. I really would. Anything else, I will see as a bonus because I think it's a very different Juventus. I really do. We've seen it before.
Yeah. Terry said, well said, and I like it. Resurgence is a good word, isn't it? It's a resurgence.
Quickly thought that one.
The Rene resurgence. We like that, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Alliteration. Lovely.
Yeah. Aggie says, let the Swedes play the way to victory. Yeah. I mean, maybe we should let more of the Swedes play. Yeah. Certainly Stina should play, I think, after her performance the other night. But we'll see what happens with the team lineups. Joe says, watched Ian Wright's podcast and he said Juventus was a disgrace to their Juve name. I mean, I think that's a little bit disrespectful to the way Arsenal played, actually, because Arsenal played so well.
Right. I love Wrighty, but come on now. They just weren't good enough. We were. Next.
Yeah, exactly. And as Andrea said, Juventus have had some good results coming into the game. So they're a good side. So let's not disrespect the way we played. We made them look average because of how well we played. So Ian Wright, come on, mate. Yeah, let's give Arsenal credit, mate. Come on. You know, we know you're a big Arsenal fan. Give the team credit for how they play. Don't say the opposition were rubbish. I mean, we made them look bad because of how well we played. We'll find out, won't we, on Thursday how good or not good they are by how they play at the Emirates. If they turn up at the Emirates and we win 4-0 again, then maybe Ian Wright might have a point. But if they, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll come and they'll show what they're all about. And I think that it'll be a tough game, but we'll win, obviously. I'm kind of thinking 2-0 actually as well. I'm kind of with Andreas. I think 2-0 would probably be fair. Terry said, and then went and spoiled it 1-0. It's not spoiling it, is it? We're still winning the game. As long as we win and get 3 points, that's all that we care about. We've got to win the game. So
I would like more.
Respect them. I just checked the Serie A table. They are leading 4 points clear to Fiorentina, and after 9 games, they have 25 points. So 25 out of 27 points. And don't forget, they have 2-1 away at Paris Saint-Germain in the qualifiers. Yeah, that's not so easily done.
No.
Give them some respect, and of course we were the better team, and we thrashed them with 4-0. But this doesn't mean it will happen every time. It's a new game, and you have to work hard for it. And if we win 1-0 or 2-0, as I said, it would be great, because it would be the qualification for the next round. But don't disrespect our opponents. They are doing a really good job, and they are the best Italian team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that the result the other night will, when it's put into context, that result the other night, the 4-0 away, is going to look even better. And I don't think they're a bad team at all. Yeah. I think we played really, really well. Yes, a few things went our way, but we did everything well that we had to do. We defended well, and midfield was strong, and we had goals in our attack. You know, every time we went forward, we looked dangerous. So it was more about how we played, and I think and I think we'll see at the Emirates on Thursday. I think we'll see a much more tighter game, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to win. I still think we will win, because I think we're better than them, but I certainly don't think that Ian Wright should be saying stuff like they're a disgrace when look at their results. They're top of their league, as Andreas said. They've dropped 2 points all season. So they're not a bad side, are they? Let's be honest. We'd like to be there, wouldn't we? Look where we are. We before the Brighton game, we were about 6th in the league. That's a disgrace to the Arsenal name, isn't it? Yeah, we've turned it round since, but you come on, right? We love you, but come on, mate. Seriously. Terry says, right, you must be skint again, saying that for pennies. Well, maybe, I don't know. It does seem ridiculous. It seems a ridiculous comment, and I'm not happy about that. But Andrew says 6-0, more than away. Come on, 6-0. I mean, that would be great, wouldn't it? But this is Juventus we're talking about, not Tottenham. I mean, yeah, we might be able to score 6 against Tottenham, but not Juventus. Come on, I mean, I think their away performance was something special, and it'll be totally different at the Emirates. Joe's gone 2-1. I'm being consistent. Well, you are being consistent. 2-2-1. We'll take 2-2-1 because that's 6 points, and we love 6 points. That's great. We'll take it all day long. Greg says, don't forget, Lord, it's the Italian league. Arsenal would walk that league. Well, would we? We would probably do okay if we didn't have Chelsea in our league. Whatever league we were in, if we didn't have to play Chelsea and we wouldn't have to compete against them, we'd probably do quite well anyway, whoever we were. But yeah, we would probably do okay. Whether we'd win, I don't know. Aggie says there, harmony in Arsenal with we should call her Renaissance, shouldn't we? Renaissance.
Yes, Renaissance, exactly.
That should be her name, Renaissance. That's what I'm going to call her now, actually. And if anybody tries to nick it and use it on another show, I'm sorry, I came up with that tonight, so I want credit for it.
Yeah, but you own that one, Rich.
The Renaissance of Arsenal. That's what this show should be called, actually. Terry says, Lordy, we're not falling for it anymore. We'll still be exciting with a 4-0. Of course, we'll love a 4-0 win, wouldn't we? But I just don't think it will be 4-0 again. But anyway, let's see. Hopefully it will be. So, I mean, wow, what a week it's been. What a week it's been. Now, we've had to struggle. We've had some real difficult weeks here on the show this season. We've tried to make the best of it. We've tried to get through the difficult times, and we've had some really, really tough times, haven't we? But this last week has been quite magnificent, hasn't it? 2 fantastic performances, 9 goals. I say it's not quite 9 different goal scorers, but it was 5 different goal scorers in one game and 4 different goal scorers in another game, which is amazing, really, when you think about it. 2 clean sheets, despite playing both the goalkeepers, we still kept 2 clean sheets. It's been an incredible week, but the week has to finish on the right note. It has to finish tomorrow with a victory away at Tottenham. Nothing else will do. Nothing else will do. We have to do it. We have to do it because we can't afford not to. So it's going to be another big week to come. Obviously, next Friday, I know you're at the game on Thursday. Will you be back for Friday's show or not, Andreas? Are you around?
Next Friday. I will still be in London, but in the hotel I should be available if the Wi-Fi is working. Yeah.
Oh well, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it's in London. They've got good Wi-Fi in London. It's got to have the best Wi-Fi in the world, isn't it? Sadiq Khan's made sure of it. Joe says right, he was criticising how Juventus don't invest in their women's team. Not oh, okay, fair enough. If that's what he meant, then that's fine.
Okay, that's a little bit different than yeah.
Although their women's team are still doing quite well, as we've said, they're top of the league. So you know they've investing enough. They need to invest to win the trophies domestically, but they're quite a new team now, aren't they? Because they've only really been going for about 4 or 5 years, haven't they? Or a bit longer maybe, but they're not a long established club as like an Arsenal or Barcelona or whatever. They're quite a modern recent club, aren't they? The women at Juventus. So you know, I don't know whether that's maybe they will invest more as time goes on. But I mean, they seem to have a nice little stadium. You know, it wasn't a big crowd, but they seem to have a nice stadium, so they've got some investment there. Terry says, "Let's hope we don't do a normal Arsenal and cock it all up as normal." No, of course we won't. We won't do that at all. We're going to now. We've turned the corner, haven't we? Let's be honest. We have turned the corner. Terry says, "Buckhouse has 5G. Of course, it has 5G. They'll roll out the 5G for the Lord anyway, so it'll be fine. We don't need to worry about that." Rajendra says Montemuro made the difference. Well, maybe he did, because he obviously when he was there and we played him, it was 2 tight games, wasn't it? We drew there and won 1-0 at home. So maybe he did make a difference, but he didn't do well enough because they sacked him. So you know, if it made the biggest difference, they would have kept him, wouldn't they? And they didn't. So but anyway, we love Joe, of course we do, for what he did at Arsenal. So. Well, next week then it'll be a good show. Andreas will be in London, which is fantastic. So that'll be good. Hopefully we'll be looking back on another 2 big victories. It'll be another good week. I'm sure it is. I can feel it coming. Another great week of great Arsenal victories, and we're going to enjoy it. Of course, with no men's games because of the international break, we can just enjoy and focus on the women, can't we? Which is what they deserve. They deserve weeks like this when there's no men's games to distract them. And everybody's focus tends to disappear and go somewhere else. Not here on the channel. We always focus on the women's team anyway. But it's good that it's the full focus this weekend, isn't it? With no Premier League games and stuff like that, which is nice. And I'm sure it'll be a great game tomorrow. Greg says Juve will have problems getting players for the women's team. Not everyone likes pasta. I like pasta. In fact, I love Italy, to be honest. I've been to Italy. I love it. It's one of my favourite countries. So I'd have no problem going to Italy to play if it was me. But there you go. And pasta's quite nice. It's good for you as well, actually. It's good fuel for you when I go running and stuff like that. So I like my pasta. But yeah, so it's going to be another big week. It's going to be another big weekend, and we are going to love it. So join me tomorrow, of course, for the game. Is it 1:45 kickoff, isn't it? A ridiculously stupid time kickoff, 1:45, which I don't know why, but it is 1:45. So I'll be at 1:30 for all of that, which will be good. So yes, join me for that. And of course, Thursday night as well, we'll be here, of course, for the Juventus game, which is going to be, again, I'm sure it's going to be a great night. And it kicks off at a sensible time for a night game, not 5:45 of an evening. I mean, what's that all about? Who can watch a game at 5:45? I must have to work. Come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous starting at 5:45. I mean, Christ, that's like daytime. You know what I mean? It's daytime on a Wednesday. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Joe says there, thanks, Jomo, for clarifying this. I meant, but got distracted. No, that's fine. I mean, yeah, okay. We'll let Righty off, maybe. We'll let him off, I suppose.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of, yeah, exactly. Terry says, thanks again, Richard, Lordy, and our Ange for entertaining us on our Friday. Well, thank you guys for entertaining us with all your comments, as always. Andreas, it is fantastic to see you again, and I'm sure you're looking forward to a good weekend. And when are you flying to London on Thursday or Wednesday?
On Wednesday. Late afternoon, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, looking forward to the week. First the North London derby, and then Champions League again, and not to forget this weekend brings Chelsea versus Man City on tomorrow.
Oh God, yeah, that is a biggie, isn't it? Yeah, let's see what happens there.
And on Sunday it's the Merseyside derby, Everton versus Liverpool. Even if Everton is doing very bad this season, it's something special. So another derby, and I think it's a weekend in the WSL. We'll look forward to, and as we said, Champions League couldn't be better, and hopefully on next Friday we have a lot to discuss, a lot of good things to discuss, and hopefully 2 wins.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
it's nice when it's 2 wins to talk about, as we've seen tonight. It's nice to be looking back on some great performances and to feel happy with life. Because I say it's been a tough season so far. It's been tough, but I think we've turned the corner, as we said, and I think things are on the up now. And we're going to have some more great moments to look back on, I'm sure. And as well, great to see you. Have you enjoyed being on the show again?
I have, yeah, I really have. Thank you. And if you're on air next Friday, Friday's good for me. So fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we'll be here next Friday as always, which is good. Aggie says everyone loves pasta and pizza in Sweden. Well, it's a good place to go. I'll go to Sweden as well then, because I love me pasta, so I'll be quite happy in Sweden.
Oh, I like pizza. I like pasta, but I really like pizza. Yeah, I'm a stodgy person. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I know pizza's a pot. I'm not keen on pizzas, but
No, fair enough. But I only have the plain ones. I'm a bit boring. I'm really boring.
Yeah,
Actually. Sorry, I digress. But no, I like my pizza. Oh, I like lasagna as well.
Oh yeah, well, lasagna's Italian, isn't it? Lasagna's. I don't really like lasagna so much, but
No,
I do like a good bit of pasta. I've got to be honest. Terry says, Greg and all in the chat, see you all tomorrow. Indeed, we will. Joe says they're looking forward to a good weekend of football. Exactly, a good weekend of proper football because the women are playing and taking full focus and none of the that in the Premier League. So it is going to be a good weekend of football, absolutely, and we're looking forward to it as well. Rajendra says Italian margherita pizza is great in Italy. Well, it's Italian. They should be best at it, shouldn't they? If anybody can make an Italian margherita pizza, it's got to be the Italians, hasn't it? To be honest, for sure. I must admit, the food in Italy is nice. So we went there and it was great. So, I like Italy, me personally. I would live there if I could. Aggie says, I wish you a nice weekend. Cheers from Sweden. Indeed. We'll maybe see you tomorrow when the game's on, hopefully. Terry says, was that stodgy or dodgy? Stodgy, not dodgy. Well, I mean, it might have been dodgy, but we do love some pasta here anyway. Anyway, what a great show, by the way. What a great show it's been, as always, as it always is. And, of course, as always, we know when this show is finished, it means the weekend can officially start. It can officially start. Now we're back on a Friday. The official start to the weekend is here. And what a weekend it is tomorrow. A North London derby. Wow, I just can't believe how excited I am for that game. It's going to be so good. We are going to absolutely thrash them, I'm sure. Greg says, if you can't get fish and chips, don't go there. We can get fish and chips in Italy. In fact, when we was in Italy, we had fish and chips. They give us fish and chips one night in a hotel. It was nice. But we did have a lot of Italian food as well, because I think you have to, don't you? When in Rome and all that. We wasn't in Rome, but when in Rome, you have to, So, but yeah, I'm sure. Well, they do fish and chips as well. So, I think the fish is different, isn't it? Because it's Italian fish, so it kind of talks differently in that. So you have to, it's just different. But it's nice. It's nice anyway. So yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. It's North London derby. North London's got to be red again. We need to make it red again after last year's disaster. It's got to be red, and I'm sure it will be. The girls are on fire at the minute. Frida's on fire, smashing goals in all over the place. She's going to get
fun, bless her. It's lovely.
Yes, it is. Estina's on fire. She's going to get another great goal, I'm sure. We're just going to score goals. It's going to be great. So join us for that tomorrow. I'll be here at 1:30. And then, of course, Thursday night for the Champions League. That is going to be fun as well. So, yeah, thanks to all you guys for your comments as well. Brilliant. Your comments every week are getting better and better. It's great to have so many people now enjoying the show with us. That's what it's all about. We love having you here. We love doing the show, and long may it continue. So great, yeah. So thanks to everybody. Thanks to Andreas, of course, as always. Thanks to Ange as well on our phone this week, which is a little bit wrong way around, but we can see you, which is the main thing. So thanks to everybody for watching. We will, of course, see you tomorrow. 170 Gunner says Marnham should be benched. Why should she be benched? She's scoring goals, mate. Scoring goals. Come on, look. I would have benched her last season because she wasn't playing well, but now she's on fire. Look at that goal she got the other night. Look at the goal she got against Brighton. How can you bench someone that's doing that? Come on. I mean, she's got to start tomorrow, surely. But we'll see. I mean, we've got a great squad. Aggie says, pizza day in Sweden. January the 1st, New Year's Day is pizza day in Sweden, is it? Wow. They've actually got a pizza day. That's incredible, isn't it? Sweden have got a pizza day. You'd think Italy would have a pizza day, but no, Sweden have got a pizza day. Did Germany have a pizza day, Andreas? Does they have a pizza day in Germany?
No, but it's
no.
a good
idea. Do they eat pizza in Germany? Do they have pizzas in Germany?
Yeah, of course we have pizza. We have a lot of pizza but no pizza day. But it's a good idea. Make it a public holiday and make a
Yes.
pizza.
Public holiday anyway.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I get that.
So
And a bit garlic bread. Yeah.
Have pizza day when there's not a bank holiday already, so we can have a bank holiday for pizza day. And then everybody, what they should do is the government should sponsor it, and every single pizza should be free on pizza day.
Wow.
So you can go anywhere and get a free pizza. You got the day off work to enjoy it. It's what a great idea that is. I think we should either move to Sweden or we should get someone from Sweden to come over here and tell our government how to organise a pizza day. And then we can have a pizza day on a Monday. We can have a pasta day on a Tuesday. What a week that'll be, right? And we can have, what other days can we have? We'll have to come up with a few more days, I think. A few more bank holidays for food. I think that's what we need. That's definitely what we need. But yeah, Sweden. Well, see, Sweden's always been a very progressive country. I've always liked Sweden.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, they're very groundbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah, we love Sweden. Yeah. I've got a Swedish car. Half my furniture was bought in IKEA, so we got no problems with
Oh, well,
Sweden.
you're halfway there, Richard.
I'm almost Swedish myself now. I've got so much Swedish stuff in my house. I'm totally Swedish. Just come to my house. It's like being you're welcome to come in. You can stay in my house. You feel you're at home because you look Swedish. Honestly, it's all Swedish stuff. There's fish and chips. Yes, but there must be a fish and chip day in Sweden as well. Then surely that's got to be a day, isn't it? VV says, why did a class player like DVD leave? Well, I mean, players leave, don't they, for all sorts of reasons, but we've got another DVD now who's quite good, so we're happy, aren't we? Greg says, what country should have a roast beef? This country should have a roast beef. Yeah, we should have a roast beef day, actually. I have a roast beef day quite often because I like roast beef, so we have it quite a lot. But it should actually be an official day, shouldn't it? A roast beef day. Terry says, Lordy, do you still paint chicken eggs at Easter time? Well, I'm assuming they still have Easter. They'll have Easter in Germany, won't they? Why would they not have Easter? It's not an exclusive English thing, is it, for England?
No, sorry, hang on, because my daughter's half Greek Cypriot, and it's the Greeks that actually paint eggs.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a Grecian, very much a Grecian thing, but the Greek Cypriots do it as well. Orthodox, sorry, because you got the Russians, X amount of Ukrainians. Yeah, all that painting of the eggs. Yeah, big in Greek Orthodox and Orthodox generally, the religion. Yeah, just for a record.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, I mean, I suppose it's kind of Easter's kind of connected to that anyway, really, I suppose, isn't it? When you think about it?
It's a nice thing to do, and they actually do like a little competition where it's an egg that doesn't crack, then you're the winner.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I never won, but that's another story. But I'm not with her dad anymore, so it don't matter. Next. Sorry. That's not a sad story. I'm quite happy, actually. But
no, it's fine. I mean, these things happen in life. It's fine, isn't it? If nobody split up from people and no one got divorced, then I don't know what the world would be like, really. It's kind of part of what makes the world what it is. Aggie says hangover day. Yeah, I mean, we need a hangover day. That'd be a good day to have, won't it?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Two of them a week would be nice, wouldn't it? Have two of them every week and then we'll be fine. 170 Gala says Marnham is not dynamic or aggressive enough. Well, I don't know. She's doing what she needs to do. She's playing well and scoring goals. I mean, what more do you want her to do? I don't understand what more she can do. She's doing everything that you just want her to do at the minute.
She's doing it really well. Long may it continue. I mean, she's got her form back, and obviously that a big part because both. Was you at the Conti Cup final, Andreas?
I was at the Conti Cup final, yes.
Right, so we were all there, and I mean, all right, you could have seen it on the telly, whatever, but to actually be there, that was a very frightening time. And obviously after that, they've never said quite what it was. Thankfully, I don't think it's anything too bad, just one of those bizarre things. But yeah, she had to be monitored.
No, she did. I mean, I was when that happened at the game, obviously, it was really, really upsetting, actually. And I was surprised that the team were able to focus so much on the game after that because it must have been tough.
They did amazingly so, yeah. And I think the biggest one had to be Stina because it was when I do love bless her when she blurted out that Stina and Frida. I didn't know this. They're like best friends at Arsenal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they are. Yeah. And Stina got the winning goal as well, which made it even sweeter, I suppose.
More poignant, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. But yeah, I mean, I after that game, I didn't think Frida would play again because I didn't see how it looked like probably looked more serious than it actually turned out to be, which is a good thing, I suppose. But I didn't think we'd see her play again. So the fact that she is playing now, she's playing so well, she's scoring goals. It almost means more now because of that, I think, than maybe it would have done anyway. So you know, and I think maybe everyone who was there that day at the cup final maybe has a little bit more kind of, you know, more feelings towards Frida because of seeing her go through that and come out the other side. So you know, I don't want to see her benched at the minute. I want to see her keep playing because she's playing well anyway. She's playing well anyway, but which is the main thing, isn't it? Aggie says, "Are we too drunk for anything else?" Well, there you go. You see, that's what Swedish like, don't they? Aggie says tonight is Spanish tap. Well, you got to have Swedish tapas, haven't you? Because that's where you're in Sweden, aren't you? But anyway, this has become the food channel actually. As tonight, it's become the food channel, which is good. We you know, you've got to have a bit of food, haven't you? So yeah, we've got some pasta, some pizza, we've got some tapas, we've got loads of stuff going on tonight. We've got some Easter eggs going on, painting Easter eggs, everything's happening, so it's all good. But anyway, that's the women's show done for another week. The weekend is officially here. It's a big weekend for women's football. It's a big weekend in North London because North London is going to... No, we're not painting Easter eggs this weekend. We are painting North London red. That is what we are doing. And we will be painting it red all day tomorrow. It's going to be great. So you might want to make sure that you join us for that because it's going to be good. So I'll be here for that up-ask one. Please join me because it's going to be a lot of fun. And when we score 6 goals against Tottenham, it'll be even more fun, won't it? So let's do it. So thanks to Andreas, of course. Thanks to Ange, of course. Thanks for all you guys in the chat as well. Brilliant to have you. All the comments, as always. Great of you joining in. Regina says, hit the likes. Indeed, hit the like before you go. We will see you tomorrow for the North London derby. It is going to be a good one. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone. Come on, you Gunners. Let's keep this run going. The renaissance of Arsenal. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.